Hi ladies, I wanted to do a foam rolling and workout for you today. Sorry, that's my rabbit. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow the program that I was certified in regards to corrective exercise. And that is where we release, so self-myofascial release techniques, and then we're going to stretch, and then we are going to strengthen. So I'll give you a few exercises to do. This one is specifically for low back pain, but anyone can do these exercises. So grab yourself a foam roller. This one is really hard, but my favorites are a little bit less dense than this. The only thing is the less dense it becomes, the more that it will change shape once you're using it. So that's why we use this one here. So the first thing that we're going to do is foam roll the hip flexor. So you are just going to come down to the floor. You're going to put the foam roller, sorry if it's hard to see, just right on your hip flexors. And you might not be able to feel this too much, so you might need to kind of turn. What I'm doing is bringing one knee out, and I'm just kind of turning into that hip a little bit so I can feel it a little bit more. Just kind of opening the hip, and you're just trying to go, I'll show you in just a minute. Oh. That feels good. Okay, you're just trying to go right here along the front of your hip. And then do the other side. And like I said, I'm bending the opposite leg, and then I'm kind of leaning, pressing into it. Even putting my knee into it a little bit more so I can feel it, just going all along that side there. I usually recommend you hold for about 20 to 30 seconds on each side. Then you're going to do the side of the hip. I'm not going down the leg for this one. This is just upper part of the leg, hip area. Probably should have worn different color pants because I feel like everything's kind of meshing in together. But up into the side of the hip, ooh, that hurt. I always put my knee across like this. It just kind of helps support me. If you have a less dense foam roller, you might be able to bring the other leg all the way out straight like a plank, but I can't. This hurts too bad. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. You can just roll over, but I'm just going to do it like this. So as you can see on this side, you can see what I'm doing. Oh, I guess this side's better so you can see me. And I'm just coming about to the top of my pants, where the top of my pants hit, and then just dropping down a little bit on the side. You'll feel this one. So what we're rolling is we want to roll any of the muscles that are pulling on the muscles that surround that low back. So we're not just doing the low back. Then you are going to go into the low back. And you're going to just have a seat on it. Oh my goodness, my rabbit is going crazy. I don't know if you can hear him, but he is going crazy. So we're just rolling the low back. Do whatever feels good. I just tell everybody not to roll too high. You don't want to roll up into your lower part of the rib cage. Some of us have floating ribs, so you just want to watch that. Not everybody does. So just down in this low back. And if you want to, you can go into the piriformis, but we don't have to for this one. So that's your choice. I'm going to move on to the next one. The next one, we're going into a thoracic opener. So what you're going to do with this is you're placing the foam roller right about chest level. So think of your sports bra or your bra line and place that foam roller there. Make sure your back is straight. We're not opening yet. We're going to keep the rib cage down. A lot of times people will lift the rib cage to create thoracic movement, and we want to keep away from that. So we're keeping the rib cage down, and we're just going to try to open the thoracic area without opening those ribs. And you'll notice I might sit here for a minute, and you're just kind of softening that area. And I'm breathing. Elbows, bring them out to the side. And I'm not trying to raise up. Like I said, I'm just really kind of letting my body fall. And the more those muscles release, the more I fall into it without opening the rib cage. Okay, so that's what you're doing. You're just staying here and you're just dropping, continuing to let your body drop, but you're not opening up. So it's two different motions. One's gonna naturally pull on the muscles and slowly move into place rather than trying to draw it out yourself. So that's the next one, is the thoracic opener. And then I'm just gonna have you sit here. Again, make sure your pelvis is in neutral. We're not tuck the tailbone up or under. It's just in neutral. And we are going to massage our abs. And what you could do actually is bring the foam roller down and then place it under your neck to support your head. And you're just going to start massaging your abdominals. So all I'm doing is I'm not doing anything really strong pressure-wise. I'm starting up right underneath my rib cage, and I'm just kind of palpating down. We don't want to do anything too much, you know, because you've got organs. So we're not trying to press into the organs or anything. Some of you might have different reactions with this. You might feel nauseous. Not saying you will, but some might. And I'm just kind of going down. Your muscles in your rectus abdominis are coming down like this in lines. So I'm just kind of palpating down the sides. And like I said, not too much. You can come back up. You're just trying to release the fascia from the abdominal wall. So it, you know, it doesn't need a ton of work, but kind of feels cool. So that is your soft myofascial release. Oh, I'm going to roll up. The next is some stretches. So we're going to bring one knee up and bring it across and rotate around. Again, 20 to 30 second hold is about all you need. You can do this every day if you want. You can do it once a week. I'm going to try to continue to add these in for you as well. So you have a few different things that you can do. You'll hear me talk about how wherever your injury occurs, or the tightness or whatever you might be dealing with, it doesn't mean that that's the area you want to concentrate on. So this, you'll notice, covers some back, some glutes. I mean, it even pulls up into the abs. And then what we're also going to do, I lost my train of thought, is because we're using any of the muscles that kind of attach. So that's why I said it's good for anybody to do this exercise. The next thing is a low back stretch. So we are just going to tilt. Now here's the one where I always tell you not to tilt your pelvis under. I usually have you try to straighten your back. But this one, we're going to let that pelvis roll, and then you're going to round. You can hold your body here and stretch. And then roll over onto your stomach. And child's pose is always a really good one to do. And I like to spread my knees out and try to let my body just drop through my legs. The more you let those arms walk out in front of you, the more it'll bring the stretch up through the upper back as well. Okay, and then hip flexor stretch is bringing one leg up, bent knee. Whew. From here, squeeze that glute underneath you so you feel the stretch in the hip flexor. You can't see my face. And then switch sides. And then the last part of it is strengthening. So then you'll go through some glute bridges. Remember to keep that pelvis in neutral to begin. And then what you're going to do is you're going to slowly press that low back into the mat and then lift up. Thinking about your knees going straight up to the ceiling. You also want to think about you're squeezing a ball in between your legs, firmly, not so much that it pops the ball, but just a firm squeeze so that you feel your inner thighs. And then if you think about pulling your heels back to your glutes, you'll feel your hamstrings kick on. And then we just go for 10. And at the top, really trying to concentrate on squeezing the ball and pulling the heels back to the glutes. Okay, keep going. And then relax. And then from here, we're coming up and we're placing our hands behind our back. And this is a butt lift. We're trying to lift our bottom up off the mat. Trying to lift all the way up. Squeeze those glutes underneath us. You might be down here. That's okay. Just keep trying to press up. And then relax. And do this again. and relax. You can do that 1 or 2 more times if you want to. Last 2 exercises, we're going to stand up. So one is a lunge. Let me move this back just a little bit so you can see me more. So what we're going to do from here is I'm going to come into a lunge. Hopefully I don't slip. And I'm going to bring my arm across. So across. And you'll feel that all back here in the glute area. And then switch sides. And you can do a lunge, but then the twist is going to help get into that glute area, stretching in that low back. And then from here, last exercise is duck stand, where you're just trying to open those toes up out to the side. And every time you do that, you end up having to squeeze those glutes underneath you and take that arch out of the low back. Last one, and relax. So that is just a quick little foam rolling, stretching and strengthening workout for you to do for a low back pain. I will try to add a few more for you all so that you have different ones that you can do each week. Have a great day, ladies.